Hi, this is Steffi from Steffi's Beads and Baubles. This is a project I've been wanting to do since I started my channel. I'm finally doing it today. And that is making you, or showing you how to make this poker chip purse hook. It's 2 poker chips, rhinestones, a bottle cap, a beaded charm, and a hook. And let me show you all the materials you need, and here's the Pepsi version of that. Right here. And you're going to need your poker chips, whatever color you want. You can use blue or red. You can use white. Any of them will work for depending on the cap you're using. You're going to want a vintage bottle cap. Now, I do sell these in my Etsy shop if you want the vintage bottle caps, but you don't have to use those. You also need a charm to hang on the bottom. You need a hook for the top and a big jump ring for that, which I used a 12mm heavy gauge I got at Hobby Lobby on half price for $1.50. And then you're going to use a 6mm to hook the charm onto the bottom bail to hang the charm. So those are the basic things you need. And by the way, you don't have to buy bails. I like to use a heavy bail on the top, a lighter one on the bottom, but you can actually use wire and make your own. I actually did that on one that I have around here somewhere. Here we go. This is the same hook. It's a Christmas hook, and I made my own. And don't worry what it looks like. That's going to be hidden by the other poker chip that goes over top, which of course would be red. So you don't have to buy bails, but I get these on Etsy or eBay. I like the little tiny ones for the bottom, but I like a sturdier one for the top. I think that looks prettier on top to have the little bit heavier one. So here we go. What you're going to do first is you're going to take your poker chip, and you're going to take, I use Gorilla Glue sticks with a high heat gun. Now you can use E6000 and that will work just as well, but you have to wait between steps. The Gorilla Glue you can work fast, and for the sake of this video I thought it'd be easier to use Gorilla Glue to show you how to do this project. Then you're going to get the glue on there, and then you're going to get that cap in the glue, move it around, and get it to stick like that. It should look right about like that. Don't worry if it's perfectly even. It's a handmade item. You're not going to get it perfect. Then you're going to cut some chain. Now this is rhinestone clothes chain. I buy it by the spool on eBay pretty cheap. And depending on the size of the chain, which you'll have to measure by laying around it, then you cut it to fit. On this particular stone, I'm cutting 25 stones, and sometimes I have to clip one off, sometimes I don't. But you really have to measure, and you can use any size stone you want. But you're going to start very slowly, and you're going to move slowly. You're going to put a little bead of glue on, and you're going to take the rhinestone and kind of drag it through so it'll stick on there. And then you're going to move very slowly, because this stuff loves to roll. And it likes to roll sideways. You don't want it sideways, you want to lay it flat. So go very slowly, like that. Be careful though, this hot glue will burn. Now if you use E6000, that helps. So you're just going to keep going around, moving as fast as you can so the glue doesn't dry, but slow enough that you keep them all facing up. Because I cannot tell you how many times I finished one and half of them were rolled sideways, which is extremely frustrating. Now, I can fit that in there, because the neat thing about clothes chain is it's got little chains between it. Now see, that one's rolling. So if you have your little pliers, just keep them handy, and you can kind of, take them so you don't burn your finger, and kind of lay it flat. It's not going to be perfect. There are going to be little bits that roll up, but like I say all the time, this is not about perfection. Now, what you're going to do next is glue your bail on. You want your bail facing out like this, and what I do is I put a dot of glue onto the bail itself. And then I hold it up and I figure out what'll be even, what'll look best, and I glue that on. You can move it around just a tiny bit before it dries and get it so it looks the way you want. There you go. And then for the bottom bail, I take one of these little bitties, which I love, these little bitty ones. You're going to take your charm, you're going to take one of the little 6mm drops, or excuse me, not drops, jump rings, and you're going to open it up, put your bead on it, put your bail on it, which it just flew off, and then you're going to close up that jump ring. I use 2 pliers usually. And then you're going to take that little bail, and what you want to do is line it up as close to that as you can. So that's what you're going to do. And you're going to take and line it up so it looks straight, like that. And then turn it over, and that's what the back will look like. And don't worry about it. You're not going to see it. Because now you're going to put more glue, mainly on the bails, because it's not going to really stick around the edges too much. And you're going to stick your other poker chip right on top, like that. Make a poker chip sandwich. And mainly what's going to hold it together is the 2 bails. But once you glue the rhinestone edge on, that will help too. Now you're going to end up cutting this in half, but I like to lay it out and cut it as I go. Because I'm going to go to here and cut and then do the other side. And I go right between the poker chips. Just like we did with the other, slow and steady. You want this to lay as even as possible on your poker chips, because you can see it wants to kind of twist and turn, and you're going to get very frustrated, but you want it to be like that. And then you're just going to keep going till you get to the bottom. I go right between the poker chips. Then when you get to the bottom, I cut. And then I do the other side. Just like that. I'm going to do like I did earlier. I'm just going to do a little bead of glue and just keep going around. And I always try to put an extra stone or 2, so when I get to the bottom, worst case, I have to cut one off. And in this case, I'll have to cut 1 stone off on each side. And then just lay it flat. And then just kind of, now again, like I said, when you work with the glue gun, you got to work a little faster. When you work with the E6000, you got a little bit of time to work. But that's what it looks like. Look, the glue, there's a little bit of glue holding that down. Okay. That's what it looks like. Now we're going to add the big jump ring. And the hook. And there you go. After this, you can wait till it dries and kind of pull some of the stones or the strings off. If you like it closer on the bottom, you can go a little further. You can bring it all the way down to the edge on each side. I have done that on some. This one's a little closer. So you can do it either way you want, but that's how you do it. And the back is just, you just clean that up as it dries. Once it dries, you can take your pliers and clean that up pretty nice. Now you can do what I did on this one, on the back. If you have a hole punch, the right size, you can actually punch it out, but you can even trace a circle with your poker chip and cut out a piece of metallic paper, and if you want to hide the back. I kind of like the look of the poker chip myself, and once it's all dry, I'll get that all cleaned off. But there you go. And the Pepsi's the same way, except I used a different color beaded charm, and I used a blue poker chip. So that's how you do those. If you're interested, I will be putting kits to make these with both this poker chip and the double poker chips. And I do sell the Pepsi and Coke lids in my Etsy shop, and the link below is below. I thank you for stopping in and seeing this video, and I will be back with more crafts soon. If you like this video, I'd appreciate a like. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you'd subscribe. But keep in mind, guys, don't worry about it being perfect. This is handmade, and nothing should be perfect. And you can get the little bits of glue off. Don't worry about that. Anybody that works with glue guns, you can see there's glue in the hole right there. I just got to get that out, and this will hang right. So thanks again, and I will be back soon. I've got a whole bunch of really fun projects for you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.